The 2021 NTT IndyCar Series season, by most accounts, was a rousing success. Here are my top 10 moments of 2021. Number 10. Fans return to the Indy 500. It seems appropriate to start this list where I finished last year's, and that is the battle to have fans at the Indianapolis 500 in 2021. Which, just 6 months removed from May of 2021, seems like such a ridiculous notion at all, but tells you how crazy things really were in the early part of this year. Like I suspected at the end of last year and was eventually able to confirm for you on this channel, there was a very strong push from Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett, among others in power, to prevent the Indianapolis 500 from having fans in attendance for the second year in a row. Still don't believe my reporting from the spring? Here's Roger Penske himself vindicating virtually everything I reported this year.
And quite honestly, 3 weeks ago, we hadn't gotten a green light to have anybody. And through working, Mark Miles working with the mayor, this is the mayor of Indianapolis, that's the responsibility of that is Mayor Hogsett. So we put together the 135,000.
Thankfully, cooler heads did prevail, and the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500 welcomed as many as the officially reported 135,000 to as many as 170,000 fans that witnessed the fastest race in history and a popular win you will find later on this list. The 2021 Indianapolis 500 also had the largest television audience since 2016 and received a higher TV rating than the Daytona 500 for the first time in the post-split era. Number 9. Jimmie Johnson arrives. Somehow, this is going to seem like a controversial opinion to some, but a 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion joining IndyCar is something that would have been inconceivable just 5 years ago, and is a true indication of the prestige level that IndyCar has recently gained back. In particular, the devotion of new sponsor Carvana was a clear indicator of why Jimmie is such an important addition to IndyCar. Now, of course, Jimmie didn't set the world on fire in his first season, to say the least, but made clear improvements throughout the season and scored his best finish of the season of 17th in the last 2 races of the season, back-to-back at Laguna Seca and Long Beach. With Jimmie adding the Indianapolis 500 to his schedule in 2022, he and his improvements will continue to be a major story to come next year. Number 8. Romain Grosjean and his comeback. Romain Grosjean's narrow escape at Bahrain from the clutches of death last year might well be number 1 if this were an "and they walked away" video. But the Phoenix's IndyCar debut season was something truly special to behold. Grosjean gave us one of the early heartwarming moments of the season, taking pole and finishing second at the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, which he would later back up at the same track when the series returned on the Brickyard weekend in August. Grosjean's oval racing debut at Gateway was also absolutely spectacular, and ultimately paved the way to signing for the full 2022 season with Andretti Autosport. He will be a driver to watch next year for sure. Number 7. The Texas Smash 'em Up. Not much good happens these days when IndyCar goes to Texas, thanks PJ1. Case in point, the second race of an ill-advised doubleheader started with the biggest pileup of the year. The most spectacular moment was Connor Daly getting pitched upside down and earning the dubious distinction of being the only driver this year to start a race with 0 wheels touching the pavement. Thankfully, everyone got out of this one A-okay and raced again. Number 6. The Penske winless streak. Team Penske is obviously one of the most accomplished teams in motor racing history, but it took them until round 10 of the season to taste victory in 2021. Amazingly, Penske finished second at the first 4 races of the year with 3 different drivers, but was unable to come away with a win. That was followed by an equally baffling string of bizarre failures that took a win away from Will Power during a red flag at Detroit and on the final lap of Road America from Joseph Newgarden. Eventually, Penske bounced back, scoring 3 wins on the season, 2 with Newgarden and 1 with Power, and lost a bit in the storylines of the season as the fact that despite an off year for the team, Newgarden still managed second in the championship. That may be a sign of things to come in 2022. Number 5. First-time winners. This one is pretty self-explanatory. There seems to be a changing of the guard in IndyCar racing, and the 2021 season demonstrated this with a string of brand new winners. Alex Palou scoring his first win in his first race with Ganassi at Barber Motorsports Park. Pato O'Ward finally breaking through at Texas Motor Speedway and going on to win yet another race at Detroit later in the season. Rinus VeeKay scoring his first win and only win of the season thus far at the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. And Marcus Ericsson finally coming into his own at Detroit and winning there, and of course also going on to win at Nashville. It will be super exciting to see who adds their name to this list in the 2022 season. Number 4, Chungus at Long Beach. Colton Herta emerged as a truly dominant force at times during the 2021 season. Unfortunately, it also came with a healthy dose of mistakes along the way. No race personified Herta's ups and downs season more than the season finale at Long Beach. Fastest by a country mile all weekend, only to make a mistake in qualifying and start the race 14th out of 28 cars. Herta then went on to carve up the field, lead the most laps, and win the race. Probably the best performance of a single race over the season. If Herta can capture his Long Beach form over the course of a season, he may well find himself as champion in 2022. Number 3. Smash 'em Up Nashville Grand Prix. The new Nashville Grand Prix around Titan Stadium was hyped to high heaven, and despite some grandstand issues and overpriced paddock passes, over 70,000 people streamed in to watch one of the wildest IndyCar races of the season, which saw a total wreckfest end with a car that at one point was flying through the air, piloted to victory by Marcus Ericsson scoring his second victory on the year. Truly, Nashville, for better or for worse, will be a race that everybody's got circled on their calendars next year as one to watch. Number 2, Palou emerges. Alex Palou entered the IndyCar series in 2020 as a relative unknown, but his ascension to IndyCar champion has been remarkable for the soft-spoken Spaniard. Palou delivered on his promise in the first race of his Chip Ganassi racing career at Barber Motorsports Park and went on to win 2 more races across the year, and of course, it was crowned NTT IndyCar champion. I believe this will likely be the start of Ganassi's next dynasty, especially seeing as Scott Dixon is entering the twilight of his career. I think we'll be hearing the name Alex Palou for years and years to come. Number 1. HELIO scores his 4th win. Bookending this video with the Indianapolis 500, Helio Castroneves joined Racing Immortality, becoming the first driver in 30 years to win 4 Indianapolis 500s. Outdueling IndyCar champion Alex Palou in the final laps of the race to become the first winner for team owners Jim Meyer and Meyer Shank. It was a popular victory, an insanely popular win in fact, and a storybook return for fans to the Indianapolis 500. The importance of the 2021 Indianapolis 500 may not be truly measured for years, but in time it may mark a true turning point in the fortunes of IndyCar racing as the wounds of the split finally heal themselves. I can't wait to see what 2022 brings. So that's my top 10 list of top 10 moments of IndyCar in 2021. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do I have the top 10 right? Did I miss anything? What's your top 10 list? I want to see all of that in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more motorsport content. I will see you in the next video.